Two middle school kids named AJ and Moose were on a school field trip. That afternoon, they secretly snuck away to a greyhound racing track and gambled their pocket money. After observing for a while, they boldly placed a bet on a white dog wearing number 7, and to their amazement, they won big. The boys could hardly believe their luck, laughing and cheering as the race ended. Since the taxi took too long, they ended up paying a random man with an old car to drive them back to the meeting point. But when they finally arrived at the bus, the teacher was absolutely furious because they had been gone for an entire hour. Their classmates booed and mocked them loudly, but AJ and Moose didn't care at all. What mattered most was that they had managed to walk away with a pocket full of money. Later that day, AJ went over to Moose's house. There, in the dimly lit kitchen, they experimented with brewing their own beer using random ingredients and a makeshift setup. When they tried it, the drink tasted surprisingly good, almost exactly like expensive beer they had once seen adults drink at restaurants. They were convinced this little business idea could someday make them rich beyond imagination. To celebrate their gambling win, they even bought themselves shiny new shoes, showing them off like trophies. But when AJ finally got home, his parents were furious. The teacher had already reported that AJ and Moose had been caught smoking and gambling behind everyone's back. "You're only 14. You still live off your parents' allowance. What do you think you'll become if you keep going down this road?" his father yelled in anger. Terrified, Moose bolted out of the house and ran off into the night. Ironically, instead of learning their lesson, AJ and Moose ended up smoking together again on the roof, laughing and trying to act like grown men. The next day, while talking about their so-called business plans, their longtime rival Randy suddenly appeared and splashed a bucket of cold water on them, cackling as he ran away. Not long after, Shane, AJ's old friend who had just returned from military service, showed up unexpectedly. Shane was already like an older brother to AJ, someone he deeply respected. The three of them spent the afternoon together at the city pool, cracking jokes and sharing stories. Shane, who was working part-time there, told them that the pool's food stall would soon be auctioned off by the government. Excited by the unexpected opportunity, AJ and Moose decided they absolutely had to win it so they could finally sell their homemade beer to real customers. After asking last year's stall owners, they discovered the rent had only been $3,000. But being naive and reckless, when the auction began, they foolishly handed over a suitcase filled with $3,000 from AJ's parents' hard-earned savings. The committee immediately declared them the winners, shaking their hands with fake smiles. Only later did they realize they had been cruelly scammed. AJ's parents' college fund and car payments were gone in an instant. Meanwhile, Moose's parents were equally furious after finding out their son had secretly been brewing alcohol inside the house. Even after these crushing setbacks, AJ and Moose didn't give up. Determined to succeed no matter what, they cleaned the filthy stall until it sparkled and worked tirelessly to raise more money by selling chocolates door to door, offering painting services in the neighborhood, and even trading old second-hand goods at the market. Slowly but surely, they managed to gather enough equipment to reopen the stall. During this time, AJ met a beautiful girl named Brooke, the neighbor's cousin who was visiting for the summer holidays. AJ secretly fell in love with her, often daydreaming about her smile even when he was supposed to be working. When opening day finally arrived, despite their doubts and fears, every customer at the pool flocked to their stall since it was the only food stand available. To their amazement, they sold out completely, recovered their investment, and even made a solid profit. AJ and Moose were bursting with pride at what they had accomplished together. That night, AJ found himself staring at Brooke through his bedroom window more often than ever, while Moose had already grown close and comfortable with her. Slowly, a small rivalry began to grow between the two friends, both in business and in love. AJ had to come along because Brooke also invited her cousin. It turned out Moose had feelings for Brooke too. That night, while swimming and seeing Moose getting closer to Brooke, AJ grew jealous. The next day at the food stall, Moose excused himself to talk with Brooke, trying to get closer to her. AJ burned with jealousy, but he couldn't do anything. Brooke wasn't his. When two kids ordered hot dogs, AJ, still upset, unconsciously vented his frustration by writing the letter F with ketchup on the bun. Soon after, the kids' friends came and also ordered hot dogs with an F written on them. Days passed, and AJ's savings grew. Despite the hidden bitterness, he and Moose remained solid in running the stall. One afternoon, Randy came to buy a hot dog. As usual, they exchanged insults and almost fought. Luckily, Shane showed up and beat Randy. Later, after closing, AJ and Moose split the profits. But on their way home, Randy and his gang attacked them from behind, leaving AJ and Moose battered. When AJ got home, Brooke called him over to help paint her toenails. The two began to grow closer. Brooke admitted she knew AJ was jealous, but assured him Moose was just a friend. She already had someone in her heart. Sadly, even though Brooke kept dropping hints, AJ remained clueless. That night, AJ handed a wad of cash to his father, returning the savings he had once used, plus extra. He also bought VIP concert tickets for his parents, fulfilling their longtime dream. His parents were moved to tears by their son's sincerity. Later that evening, Moose invited AJ to hang out, but AJ refused, saying he was tired. Not long after, Brooke threw a stone at his window and asked him out. AJ agreed. As they walked together, he was awkward, being alone with her for the first time. Soon, they ran into Shane, who invited them to a party at an abandoned cinema. AJ and Brooke joined, but suddenly Moose appeared. He was crushed seeing them together. Before AJ could explain, the police raided the party, causing chaos. AJ and Brooke hid behind the screen, lucky to escape unnoticed. The next day at the stall, AJ and Moose were cold toward each other. Shane noticed and realized they were fighting over Brooke. Moose openly challenged AJ. Unable to contain his jealousy, AJ left early. Shane followed and gave advice by the lake. Fighting over girls was normal, but true friendship shouldn't be destroyed. He was sure Brooke liked AJ more than Moose, and urged AJ to confess his feelings at the party that night. That evening, AJ finally confessed. Brooke was happy he understood her at last. They kissed, but suddenly Moose caught them. Hurt and angry, Moose punched AJ and told him to leave. With a heavy heart, AJ walked away. When he returned to the party, he saw Brooke with another handsome guy. Heartbroken, AJ went home. The next morning, he saw Brooke leaving in that same guy's car. AJ realized she was a playgirl, easily changing partners. His friendship with Moose now lay in ruins. Later, AJ went to the stall only to find it trashed. Moose was just as shocked. It had to be Randy. While cleaning, Moose said, "Starting tomorrow, we'll work in shifts. That way, we don't have to see each other." AJ stayed silent. The following day, while AJ was on duty, Brooke came and invited him for ice cream. AJ coldly refused. That evening, Shane invited AJ to camp by the lake. As they relaxed, Shane asked about Brooke. AJ told him everything. Strangely, Shane laughed, then explained that the guy with Brooke was actually her brother. AJ was stunned. The next day at the pool, AJ apologized to Brooke, but she acted cold and distant. The day after, while AJ was mowing the lawn, Shane stopped by to give him an early birthday present before leaving town. He encouraged AJ not to give up on Brooke. That night, Shane's words came true. Brooke visited AJ to reconcile. They went to his room, but his father suddenly came home. Instead of being angry, his father delivered heartbreaking news. Shane had been in a car accident and died. The following afternoon, AJ returned from the stall to find Brooke packing her belongings. Her father, a soldier, had been called on urgent duty, forcing them to move to Germany immediately. AJ was crushed once again. Before leaving, Brooke gave him a handkerchief and a photo of AJ with Shane. Seeing his son drowning in grief, AJ's father sat with him on the porch. For the first time, he allowed AJ to share a beer with him. Father and son quietly watched the sunset together. The next day, AJ found Moose already at the stall. Both were still mourning Shane and dealing with the loss of Brooke. But as true friends, they comforted each other. Finally, AJ and Moose reconciled. They made a pact. Once summer break ended and the pool closed, they would keep going, trying business after business until they finally became successful, and with that the story ends here.